once again out on the road for today's show. So I had $60 in Best Buy gift cards and reward zone points. Wanted to pick up a game, couldn't really decide what I wanted. It came down to Skyrim, Arkham City, and Forza 4. I noticed that both John and George already had Skyrim, so I figured if I wanted to play it, I'll just borrow it from one of them whenever they're done. It might take them years, but before I have enough free time to play it, it might take me years. I like to have at least one racing and sport game per console, or at least per console generation, but I prefer arcade racers to Sims. So like when you get back to the PlayStation era, I always preferred Ridge Racer to Gran Turismo, which, you know, some people might say is sacrilege, but I prefer the more fun. I don't ever care to have to adjust the camber ratio of my tires. That's just way too much detail for a non-car guy like me. So I said, let's put the brakes on Forza, and I went ahead and picked up Arkham City. So far it's pretty cool. George was over playing a little bit last night, and my daughter Elliot was about to walk upstairs, and George was playing and just beating up some of Two-Face's gang or what have you. And you had these random punch and kick sounds and people cussing and screaming. And my daughter looks at me and goes, "Daddy, what's that sound?" And I just said, "Well, that's Batman." She goes, "Oh," and just walks upstairs. I love the fact that as a parent, I've got my daughter to the point where the sounds of Batman's vigilante justice are just random background noise to my daughter. She accepts that that's the sound she's supposed to hear, is, you know, Batman punching people. I consider that a parenting plus. The pros of the game, Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy is back as the voice of Batman. He's been the voice of Batman that I've heard when I read comics probably for like the last, 20 so years. So it's always good to hear him. Same thing for Mark Hamill. It's good to, when I read a Joker comic, I hear his voice. So the fact that they're there together really helps the ambiance of the game, helps you get into it. I like the basic RPG elements of the game, a little leveling up, you know, to get better gadgets or better combat techniques. It does seem kind of silly that Batman wouldn't know how to do like a special kick at the beginning of the game, but somehow over the course of 10 hours learns some new martial arts. But I like the, ding, you level up and get some new stuff. That's always a nice little incentive game-wise. Another plus is variety. I was a bit skeptical of this when I first heard the reviews, but there really is a lot of different stuff going on. Sure, you're going to repeat just beating up random thugs, but so far I've had to do like speed runs across Arkham City to answer random phone calls from Mr. Zaz, direct combat, stealth combat, which can be really fun, especially when it shows the heartbeat monitors of the enemies and how they are getting terrified of Batman. Puzzle solving, and the differentiations between the characters, what I was really doubtful of. But Batman and Catwoman, while the basic controls for the fight, Y, XXX, Y, XXX, Y, XXX, A plus Y, repeat. The combos pretty much move the same way. The different speeds at which they move, the different, there's just a different feel to them, more than what I expected. It wasn't just an animation swap. It works out pretty well. It's not a huge difference between the two of them, but it's enough to make them truly distinctive characters. Ooh. The cons of the game, the camera is a bit too tight. Not sure if I can adjust it or not fiddle with it too much, but it stays way too close to Batman a lot of times, and I want to move it back just a little bit. I'm not always clear on the goals, especially when it comes to the Riddler trophies. They're always these little bear trap sort of things, and I guess you have to step on one of the Riddler question marks and throw some batarangs at the other ones. It's kind of weird. I haven't got too many of them. People say that's like an important part of the game. I just haven't got into yet. And this is kind of weird as a drawback. Consistent design. Normally having a visual theme carry over through a game or through an actual physical city is nice. It gives you a sense of cohesion. But in Arkham City, the environment is so dark and rainy and gothic and all this sort of stuff. All the buildings do tend to look alike, and they literally need to have the big neon sign saying this is Ace Chemical, this is the toy factory, blah blah blah. Otherwise you couldn't tell what's what, so that kind of sucks. overall, a good game. I'm not too far into it, like 5%. Looks like there's a lot to do. The character models are pretty detailed, pretty to look at, fun to play. I would recommend it. If you don't have it, maybe hold off, get it cheap for Black Friday or Christmas, what have you. But definitely a good game, and I will let you know how it goes as we progress. I will talk to you later. Bye.